Oh man, this one just gets me. This one really gets me because I hear it far too often, and it's, if I just knew the products, man, I'd be able to sell it. If I just had more product knowledge, I'd feel more comfortable on the phone. That's BS. That's garbage. You either feel comfortable on the phone or you don't. Hey, listen, if you want to make it in the insurance industry, here's a few mistakes that you're going to want to avoid. I find every new agent, almost every new agent, making these same 5 mistakes. So if you want to do good, if you want to make it, if you want to be part of the 92%, and you don't want to be part of the 8% of, or I'm sorry, you want to be part of the 8%, not the 92% of insurance agents that fail, you want to avoid these 5 mistakes, right? They're really simple, but I find every single new agent kind of falling into this. The first thing is no personal accountability, right? What do I mean by that? I mean, there's a common thing with control, right? If you are giving up control, meaning, well, I couldn't close them because their dog was out and they were busy and the kids were crying, and so, I couldn't close them because of that. You give up your control, right? You're literally taking the control that you had to make that sale, the power, I should say power. Let's use the word power instead of control, right? You're losing your power because you're giving it to that circumstance rather than saying, man, if I would have finished that presentation 5 minutes earlier, the dog wouldn't have been barking, the kid would have been crying, I could have closed that deal. Boom, I'm taking personal accountability for everything in the world, right? Everything. You want to take personal accountability because that keeps the power within your hands and not the buyer's hands, right? So power comes from personal accountability. Be accountable to yourself. Hold yourself to that higher standard. Don't make excuses. Don't let yourself make excuses. When you do find yourself making excuses, remind yourself that you're giving that power to something or someone else. That's the biggest thing. No personal accountability. The second thing that I see a lot of new agents struggling with is they overestimate what they can do in a short period of time and underestimate what they can do over a long period of time. Meaning they're 3-4 weeks in and they're like, man, I've only made $2,000 the last 4 weeks. It's only $500 a week. It's your first month in the insurance industry. It's $500 a week. Hopefully that at least pays the bills, right? You've got to understand that insurance is not a get-rich-quick business, right? It is absolutely a get-rich business, but it is not a get-rich-quick business. Not for everybody anyways. Over a long period of time, you develop a book of business, you learn how to cross-sell, you add new products to your portfolio, you are going to grow your income year over year over year over year. That's what I love about this industry, is the fact that my income is always going up. Doesn't matter what the government does, doesn't matter what the carrier does, doesn't matter. There's always going to be opportunity, and my income, as long as I'm going to be active in the insurance industry, is always going to go up, period. So don't underestimate what you can do in the long term, and don't overestimate what you can do in the short term. This next one is something that, man, I've been talking about, it feels like, for the last 3-4 days, and it's so common. It's such a hindrance to new agents that are starting out, and it's shiny object syndrome, right? Shiny object syndrome. What I mean by that is you have access. Let's just say you have 5 products, okay? You look at Agent A over here. He's making $100,000 a year with these 5 products. You look at Agent B. He's got access to these same 5 products, but he's not making any money. And he's talking about, well, what about this plan? I ran into a client with this product or that product. What about these plans? Like, well, I haven't talked to anybody that needs health insurance yet, but I talked to somebody that needs life insurance. So, well, do you write life insurance? No. Okay, well then, refer them to somebody, or, hold on to it for down the road when you do offer life insurance. But do not get that shiny object syndrome. Focus on a few things, doing those few things well, then adding to the mix. Medicare is a perfect example. For me, right, I started in the health space. Medicare was like learning a foreign language. I didn't add it all at once, right? I learned it slowly, piece by piece, so that I wasn't pulling away from my income over here. In fact, I was actually just adding to it, right? I wasn't detracting from this and pulling from over, trying to build this over here. I was literally relying on this while slowly adding the Medicare, the life, the other stuff in. So then you can have those cross-sale opportunities down the road. What are we on? The fourth mistake that I see new agents making, and really I just see agents in general making this. Agents that aren't doing well are not making enough activity. There's not enough activity, right? What do I mean by activity? I mean appointments, phone calls, setting appointments. If you're not sitting with 10 people a day or 10 people, every 2 days, let's say at least 5 people a day, how can you expect to succeed, right? You have to take activity. And for a new agent, sometimes what this looks like is, I talk to people all the time that are currently getting their license, right? And I have probably 10 agents right now that are in licensing, getting their license. Here's the suggestion that I always make. Hey, start prospecting now. Like, don't wait till you have a license. Obviously, you can't write the business till you have a license, but start prospecting now. Guess how many ever do it? Maybe 1 in 10. Literally, maybe 1 in 10 agents will start prospecting. That's ridiculous to me because, hey, listen, if I was going to open up a shoe store, let's say I was going to open up a shoe store, right? And I don't know why I choose the example of a shoe store, but here you go. I'm opening up a shoe store right down the road, okay? The first thing that I do before I even look at anything is I'm going to start to find potential customers, right? I want the day that I open, I want people to be coming through those doors to buy my freaking shoes, right? Just like with insurance, I mean, if you are going, and it's the best time because you're like in your infancy and people think that's cute. Like a little baby, like, oh, you're starting a new career, right? They're gonna want to help you more because you're starting in a new venture, right? So when you're getting your license or when you're just starting out, man, do not be afraid to tell every single person what you're doing. They're gonna get excited. They're gonna wanna help you. Man, I just remember when I started insurance being so afraid to talk to people about it. Like I didn't even want to mention it because like I didn't know anything, right? Which is gonna lead into our last and the most detrimental, the biggest mistake that I see. This is gonna segue right perfectly into it. But they wanna know, you're scared to talk about insurance before you really get into the industry because of the fact that you don't know anything about insurance, but that's okay, right? That's okay. You're trying to generate prospects. You don't need to know it all. And that leads into the last point, which is the product knowledge crutch. That's what I like to call it. The product knowledge crutch. What that means, oh man, this one just gets me. This one really, really gets me because I hear it far too often, and it's, if I just knew the products, man, I'd be able to sell it. If I just had more product knowledge, I'd feel more comfortable on the phone. That's BS. That's garbage. You either feel comfortable on the phone or you don't. You either enjoy the sales process or you don't enjoy the sales process. You don't need the product knowledge. Man, give me any product that you want. I will take that product and I will go try to sell it. I might fall short because I don't know everything about it, but I'll learn some things as we go and we'll figure it out. But I know for sure I'm going to take action, right? I'm not going to have that low activity. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to talk to 100 people. Right, as my buddy Nate Offert says, you can take a cute puppy, tie a policy around its neck or an application to a policy around its neck, send them into 10 different houses. Somebody's going to sign up just because they needed it, right? Just because from a dog, right? Because that activity is there, guys. So don't let the product knowledge crutch stand in the way of being successful in this industry. Go out there and prospect. And hey, you can always do what I did when I started. I call it the broker, what did I call it? The broker crutch, we'll just say. I don't remember what I actually called it, but the broker fallback. So that would be, I'm a broker, so I have access to all the products out there. So really I just need to know your situation a little bit more so I can go shop those products. I didn't have to give any details. I didn't have to give any description of any certain product. I didn't have to give a premium. I didn't have to give benefits. I just said, hey, listen, I have access to all of them, right? And if you do or if you don't, you have access to kind of shop them. So I would recommend using that as a fallback if you need to, right, to get that information from somebody. Do not fall into these 5 mistakes, and I'll repeat them for you guys. So number 1, no personal accountability. Number 2, they overestimate what they can do in the short term and underestimate what they can do in the long term. 3, they get shiny object syndrome. They want to try to be the jack of all trades, master of none. right? 2, low activity, low to no activity. And usually that's because of the number 1 thing, which is the product knowledge crutch. They don't have a lot of activity because they're relying on the fact that when they know everything about the product, then they will take that activity. Then they will take that action. And that doesn't work, guys. Take massive action every day. Have personal accountability. We want you to be part of the 8%, not the 92%, the 8% of insurance agents that do not fail, right? That are making it. In fact, I want you to be a part of the 1%, and I promise you, if you can do these things when you start, you will kill it. Hey, listen, I didn't choose insurance. Insurance chose me. But if you did want to find out the 10 reasons why, if I had to choose insurance, why I would, check out the video right here.